As we gaze across today's spiritual landscape, a unique and difficult migratory movement can be detected, percolating beneath the surface. Minor changes are made every day in the way in which people view the world, but there are some embarking on a spiritual migration that could very well tear them away from the fabric of everything they've ever known. A glimpse of this kind of emotional experience can be felt here, at a modern international terminal that acts as a point of transition for immigrants entering America for the first time, looking for a better life. Imagine the complex emotions felt by such people more than a century ago, who flocked to this new world promising hope and freedom, and yet bore the loss and pain in leaving their homeland behind. Another type of immigration, a spiritual one, carries the same emotional freight, and it begins here, in the hearts of those who belong to the Mormon Church. Today, many who were once part of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are migrating away from their religious homeland of Mormonism in search of a new land. For the Mormon whose entire way of life has been woven into the fabric of their LDS Church, the fears and obstacles they face in leaving are unprecedented. Even so, every day, people all over the world are transitioning out of Mormonism.
I had been prepared my whole life to go out on a mission, and you see the missionaries and you think, wow, they're amazing, and that's the way people view you. And you realize, nothing's changed. I'm still just Greg, and I started to really struggle with not feeling like I measured up, and even though I was trying my hardest.
And I started, reading the Book of Mormon, really paying attention, just trying to prove to myself that, look, this is true, this is the way to go. You need to get back into this and start trying again. And in that process of trying to prove to myself that it was true, ended up doing the exact opposite.
It seemed like you go to church and find out all the reasons you're going to go to hell, and if you're not going to hell for this or that, you're going to hell for what you're missing out on. I didn't feel I wanted to be a part of it, but yet I still believed in the doctrine, I never lost my faith in God.
I just wanted to know His will in my life, not my neighbors, not my friends, not the church, and that's all I prayed the whole time, was just to know Him. It sounds ludicrous and like I've lost my mind, but this voice came and just said, it's time to leave, Suzanne.
I finally just reached a point where I said, I can't do this anymore, and I filed my letter of resignation.
Part of that is freeing, part of that is, am I anybody special?
When I hear people talking about, when a loved one dies and, the grief process, you go into mourning. I think I went through mourning, a lot of anger, and
God put it in us to have our parents bring us up, and when you find yourself pretty much at the end of being programmed for life, and that all changes, it's like having the carpet ripped out from underneath you.
I think for me, it was just resigning myself that I was gonna go to hell.
So it was actually a state of turmoil and despair that led me to totally throw everything I knew to the wind and say, God, show me. Give me some truth that I can stand on.
I just kind of felt like I'd been left hanging. Sweet little mom would say, what are you going to do? How are your girls going to be raised without going to church, right?
The only God I understood or even knew about was the God of the Mormon Church. And so I wanted to get as far away from that as possible. And so in my heart, I was searching for anything else.
I mean, I read everything. New Age, yeah, maybe it's Buddhist, maybe it's a little Zen, maybe, that whole agnostic thing too. Yeah, there's a God, but everything's good. Everyone's good. It's all good.
I wasn't compelled to replace it with anything. In fact, I thought this was as close to God as there was.
I was spiritual. I was a spiritual person in connection with God. I loved Him, but I didn't want to affiliate with a group of people, a sense of community elsewhere.
I stopped believing in God altogether. I just absolutely did not believe in God. I was angry with him. I took a long walk one night in the moonlight. There was a full moon. I will never forget this night. And cursing my ex-husband and cursing God. But I never stopped believing in Jesus.